This woman was a billionaire heiress with astonishing wealth. Yet, she somehow fell for a strange young man with bizarre habits. The boy had just graduated and was eager to find a job. One morning, he rode his bicycle to a company for an interview. To his surprise, he was knocked straight into a pile of trash by a speeding sports car. When George caught sight of the woman's stunning beauty and graceful figure, he was instantly captivated and fell in love at first sight. The woman casually tossed a thick stack of cash at him and drove away. What George never expected was that the boss of the company he was about to interview with was none other than the beautiful woman who had hit him earlier. Seeing how awkward and odd George looked, the female boss assigned him to clean the restrooms. By then, George was already completely mesmerized by her and lost in his fantasies. As his thoughts drifted, he unconsciously hugged the toilet, imagining that he was holding his boss in his arms. He even treated the water splashing from the toilet as some kind of reward, opening his mouth to catch it. At that very moment, the boss appeared behind him.
A pervert as well.
Realizing she might not let him stay, George began to think of ways to remain in the company. He even said he was willing to work without pay, as long as she would give him one more chance to prove himself. Surprisingly, the boss was moved by his desperate effort. Seeing his plan succeed, George secretly felt proud. He had spent countless nights studying at home, drawing screens on paper and using books as imaginary monitors, all for this very moment. But when it came time to show his skills, reality crushed his hopes. The software used in real companies was far more complex than what he had practiced, and he had never even touched the C programming language used by professionals, so he decided to learn everything from scratch.
Yes! Yes! I love programming! C-Base! I want to get to C-Base!
Eventually, the boss realized that George had joined the company not for work, but to pursue her. She decided to fire him on the spot. To avoid being dismissed, George began talking about his dreams, saying he only wanted a chance to learn and would do anything to stay. After hesitating for a while, the boss was touched by his sincerity, and George finally managed to stay. The boss thought he would start working hard afterward, but one day, George accidentally shut down all the company's computers, causing 3 months of work to vanish instantly, with only 1 week left before delivery. The boss trembled with rage and tore apart George's notebook. George claimed it contained his most important study notes, but when she looked inside, she found nothing but his inappropriate fantasies about every woman in the company, including herself. At that moment, she was completely disappointed in him. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, George knelt down and begged for forgiveness, saying he would accept any conditions as long as he could stay. But when the boss learned that George had spent the 1 million compensation she gave him on dating women, she spat in disgust. Over the next week, the entire company worked overtime because of George's mistake. Even working around the clock, they still couldn't finish the project. Just when everyone was at a loss, an email suddenly arrived on their computers. It contained the program that George had supposedly deleted. The boss was furious, believing George had tricked them. She thought he had backed up the software in advance and deliberately shut down the power, so he could later appear as a hero and win her favor. Just as she was about to confront him, employees suddenly discovered that the new software was even better than the original. It not only met all the client's requirements perfectly, but was also simpler and easier to use. Only then did the boss realize that George had rebuilt an entirely new system from scratch. He was far more capable than she had imagined, and the $1 million she had given him had actually been donated to a poor elderly couple in need. After learning the truth, the boss immediately jumped into her golden sports car and chased after him. She wanted to win back the man who had unexpectedly made her heart race. Meanwhile, George had already mounted his bicycle again.